What's up, guys? It's Sean here, and what I want to talk about today is something that is really popular in the entrepreneurship amongst millennials community, and that is coaching. There's so many coaches and mentors who are promoting their product out there that you can use, whether it's building a digital marketing agency, a consulting business, anything you can think of. You know, your Facebook feed is probably filled with people promoting their service. It's everywhere on YouTube. And I want to talk to you about sort of the three guiding principles I use in selecting which coaches to hire and, to give my money to. Now, the first thing to remember is that, generally speaking, it's not that some coaches are right and some are wrong. Some are definitely better than others, but generally speaking, they all offer something different. And they've all achieved some level of success through some kind of a different path. So instead of trying to look for the best coach, look for the one that resonates with you. Now, the second point to keep in mind is that no matter what coach you go with, what's more important than the one you choose is going to be how well you follow that coach's advice. Regardless of what the program is you're doing, in order for it to be successful, you really have to commit yourself to it for a long enough period, a period of a few months. So that's the second point, that no matter what coach you choose, you must commit yourself to that coach. And the third point is not to be afraid to spend a little bit of money. Now, obviously, you don't want to spend your entire earnings on coaching, but when I first started out, I always would look for free things. Now, there's two problems with free things. One, the quality is not going to be good, because how could a free program have great quality when the person making it is not being compensated in any way? And if they are being compensated, it's because they're trying to upsell you on a higher price program, so they're saving all their best tips for that. And second of all, the point that most people don't understand is that just the act of paying money for something will make you take it so much more seriously. Just think about those 3 points like I mentioned. It's not about finding the best coach. All the coaches generally have something good to offer, so pick one that resonates with you. Whatever one you choose, fully commit yourself to it, and stop being afraid of spending a little bit of money. Think about the other things we spend money on. We spend money on our car, on our clothes, on movies, on alcohol, and we do that, without hesitation. But when it comes to spending $300 on a coaching program, the first thing we think of is, oh, what if this is a scam? What if this is a waste of my time? Why are we so afraid about being scammed out of $300 on coaching when we routinely waste $300 a month on buying alcohol? It's crazy. I'm not saying go out and spend all your money on coaches, and there certainly are some that might rip you off, but in general, find someone that you resonate with, spend a little bit of money, and try out their program. What do you really have to lose? Just heading for a quick workout, and a good thought I had is, how do you know when you're operating effectively, when you're thinking effectively, when you're doing the things you should be doing in life? And I think that as an entrepreneur, or as anyone who is kind of pursuing something off the beaten path, something ambitious, you're going to go through cycles, ups and downs, where sometimes, some weeks, you're just going to really feel like you're making the absolute best use of every moment and really just crushing all your tasks. And other weeks, you'll feel like you're wasting time. You have so much to do and you're procrastinating and you can't seem to get yourself motivated, and the stars in your life aren't going to align to let you accomplish what you need to accomplish. So I think there's two main points that I want to tell you guys here. The first one is how to recognize when you're in the zone. People call this the flow state. I think that one of the ways you recognize that is when you are just genuinely motivated to simply do the required actions and work to get yourself ahead. You no longer want to plan. You no longer want to look for inspiration. You don't want to watch other YouTube videos. You don't want to do anything other than just sit down and do the work. And the idea of doing the work gives you this deep excitement, right? And when you're in that zone, it just feels like you would do anything to have more than 24 hours in the day. You wish you didn't have to sleep because you just want to sit down and work and power through whatever your primary goal is. When you have that feeling, you're in the zone. And the second point is that it's impossible to be in the zone all the time. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. So alternatively, when you're not in the zone, in the back of your mind there's so much you should be doing, but for some reason the idea and you just don't have the ability to sit down and really systematically work through what you have to do. You find yourself procrastinating, you find yourself feeling overwhelmed. And this is when you know that you're not in the zone. You have to accept that you're going to have the ups and downs. And when you're in the zone, when you're in an up period, just make the best use of it. Obviously, get as much done as you can. And when you're not in the zone, be gentle with yourself and realize that, given enough time, you will get back to the zone. The third point, and maybe even the most important one, is to learn what actions make it so that you are in your flow state and you are in the zone. So these could be simple things like exercising, like getting to sleep on time, like making enough time each week to connect with your friends and people you care about, just so it sort of gives you perspective and gives meaning to everything that you're doing. And I think this is different for every person. So, accept the fact that you will sometimes be in the zone and sometimes not in the zone. When you're in the zone, make the most of it. When you're not in the zone, go easy on yourself, but also pay attention to the actions that you take that will make you feel good and make you in the zone more often. I think one of the big problems is that people try to kind of brute force themselves to do things they don't want to do, and they kind of try to bypass their natural willpower. And honestly, it's not really possible to do that. If you don't want to sit down and do the work you have to do, you can force yourself to an extent, but you'll never force yourself to do it week after week, month after month. You have to sort of learn what it takes to make it so that you genuinely want to do it. And for me, this is what I would define as kind of being in the flow state. On that note, guys, I'm about to hit a quick workout, go home, get a couple things done, check in with my employees, and we're going to go from there. It's so easy to get overwhelmed by the amount of things you have to do. What is important is to just sit down and decide what's the one task of the several that I'm going to get done today. And it can become extremely overwhelming just thinking about all the things you have to do. And this is one of the reasons that entrepreneurship is so much harder, in my opinion, than working at a normal job or going to school and just focusing on that. Because when you're talking about a job or when you're talking about school, you're told what to do at what time. It's very structured, and you don't have to constantly be making the decision about where to focus your energy. You don't have this constant voice in the back of your head questioning if what you're doing is the most effective use of your time. So it's much less overwhelming in some regards. Of course, ultimately, the price you pay for working a job, if you're meant to be an entrepreneur, is very great. But when you're starting out, entrepreneurship is very overwhelming. What I've learned is that even if you only accomplish 20% of what you think you should be able to accomplish, you're doing pretty good. Everything takes so much longer than you think it will, and you have to learn to be okay with this. tonight is a personal planning tool that I call the Master Task Tracking Document. And what I like to do is actually break down each day into half-an-hour segments and track my productivity in those segments. And also in here, I keep track of my pretty strict morning routine. And the way I do it is I keep track of it all in a Microsoft Excel document. And it just adds that extra layer of accountability that helps me to stay on track. And let me just show you guys quickly what it looks like here, the Excel document. So this is the Excel document here. You see, if you look at my morning routine, I have get out of bed, cold shower, make bed, morning video, coffee, affirmations, journals. And when I go through it, I just fill in the time, 6:40. And as I go, so I fill in the finish time, and the start time is pre-populated. So I'll put in, let's say, it takes me kind of 10 minutes to get out of bed. So I'll put that in, and it'll pre-populate the beginning point for the next task, which is the cold shower. And it'll also calculate automatically the actual minutes it took. And it'll show me if I'm ahead or behind schedule. So in this case, I'll be 5 minutes behind. And then I just go through at the end and indicate if I've accomplished all the tasks with a simple Y or N, right? And as I do that, it calculates my percentage completion and was my morning routine accomplished. So the way this formula is set up is if more than 80% is complete, it'll have it as a yes. So let's see here. Right now we're at 62.5. I put a few more yeses in there. 70. So 80. And when we go here, this number should change to a 1. And it does. So this is how I track my morning routines. And then also as I go through the day, I'll keep track of what I do each time. So, task 1. Then I have a spot for a subtask. I'll give myself a ranking out of 10. Go with an 8 here. And, kind of like above, all the different, depending what I rank myself, it'll kind of give me a visual representation of what it's looking like. And then at the bottom, it has my total. And it just kind of links up here to my daily productivity rank, which is just the average of all of them. And again, was my day productive? Was I more than 80% productive? And I have kind of a spot here for my to-do list as well. So that's a way I use to track my day-to-day activities. I think it's pretty important to have something like this. Some people don't like being this organized, but at the end of the day, guys, the more organized you are, the more you can actually fit into each day and the quicker you can get to your goals. Ironically, I did get a bit caught up this evening getting all this updated, so now it's like 12:30 and I gotta get to sleep because I'm up about 6 a.m. tomorrow. Busy times. Till next time, see you later. If you like these vlogs, please like, comment, and subscribe. It does mean a ton to me, and I'll see you guys next time.